What's going on? It's your Council Polly Rob. Welcome to another episode of my Polly Rob podcast. I appreciate y'all always showing love. Make sure y'all like and subscribe. Hit the notifications for all my content. Make sure you become a member because if you become a member, you get all my exclusive content that I don't put just regularly on my YouTube. You got to be a member. So make sure you do that. I appreciate everybody supporting me. I got like uh, I got like 1,480 subscribers. I'm trying to get to that 1,500. All I need is like 20 more subscribers. We're going to hit that 1,500 and get to it. You know what I mean? Really quick before I get into this topic of the day, I just want to express that we did drop some new music. Local Astronauts did drop some new music. We did that. You know what I mean? We got a record out right now called Act 1. You know what I'm saying? It's called Act 1 featuring Sheba. You know what I'm saying? If you haven't heard Sheba, man, listen, you are in for some good vibes. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you check that out on all our digital platforms as well as Bandcamp. You know what I'm saying? Also, we've also produced about 4 records on Doe Network's This for the Project, the deluxe. The project is called, the compilation is called This for the Project. It's the deluxe version. So he has a side A and a side B, and then he has a deluxe version, which just dropped like yesterday. You know what I mean? So we got 4 records on there. And it's dope because one of the records, I'm not even going to tell you which one. I'm going to let y'all figure it out. But one of the records is co-produced by my oldest son, you know what I'm saying, Slacker Corey. So that's phenomenal. I just feel like a proud dad, and he's getting into his music bag as well. You know what I mean? Let's get into the topic. Let's get right to it. And you know what's crazy? There's been a lot of court things going on. You know what I mean? It's a lot of court stuff in hip hop. You know, and anytime you get into those situations where you feel like you have to go to court, it's just never good. It's never good for the relationship. It's never good for future business. It's just not good. You know what I mean? And for this particular topic, we want to talk about Camron and J. Cole. Apparently, Camron is suing J. Cole for not. So here's the deal. J. Cole, in one of his last projects, he actually sampled one of Camron's records. And if I'm not mistaken, it was one of his favorite, one of his best sampled records, you know what I mean? And, you know, of course, by Camron having ownership in his masters, you know, J. Cole had to go to him and say, hey, I'm going to use, you know, this particular song as sample, and you know, let's figure out the business. I don't know if they started off with negotiating a monetary value, which is like getting paid for it, or whatever the case may be. But and also put in the comments if you know the record that J. Cole sampled. You know what I'm saying? Because I can't remember it right now. So let me know in the comments if y'all know which record J. Cole sampled. But anyway, apparently, from what Camron is saying, what ended up happening is they negotiated. I'll clear the sample and I won't take any monetary value. And in exchange, either it'll be a feature from J. Cole on one of Cameron's albums or projects, or most importantly, and this is around the time where It Is What It Is, the podcast with Camron and Mace was coming to light. They're in the motion of doing episodes. So Camron was like, or you can be a guest on my podcast. You know what I mean? And that was the agreement. You know, clear the record, you know what I mean, to sample, to put on J. Cole's latest project. And in exchange, either a feature or an interview. So time has passed because J. Cole, last time we put out a project was probably about like, what, 2-3 years ago? And then also in the midst of it, you know, of course, we've seen what J. Cole has done. You know, he's been getting flack for the apology with Kendrick Lamar. He's been getting flack for the latest project that he put out. Might delete later. You know, it's a lot of those things happening. So in the midst of all of those things transpiring, Camron said that he's been hitting him up to see if he can get him on the show. You know what I'm saying? Let's get on the show and let's do a good episode. And from what Camron is saying, allegedly J. Cole has been, ducking him, not answering his calls, not responding back, not, keeping in touch to see if they can rectify the situation. So Camron had to go the legal way. He had to go the legal way to say, hey, now I want some money, or now I want something else aside from an interview or a feature, because I've been chasing you for quite some time and you have not honored what I feel like you need to honor. You know what I mean? And it happens like that in the music industry a lot. You'll hear stories of someone wanting to get a song cleared, or somebody wanting a feature on a particular project that they're working on. And then, the person that they want it from, finds a way to work something out to honor it. And then all of a sudden it's like, you're not answering my calls, you're not responding back. Like, where's the give and take? You know what I mean? You definitely took. So where's the give in the whole situation? You know what I mean? So, I've seen it happen a lot. It's actually happened to me as well. You know what I mean? Just a barter system. You know what I mean? Like, hey man, like, I do something for you, you do something for me. You know what I mean? And all the time, everything doesn't have to be a money situation. Everything doesn't have to be a money play. Like, oh, this is how much for a feature. Because sometimes the value of something else, like the value of an interview for Camron doing this podcast from J. Cole, is way bigger than getting a J. Cole verse. Not saying that a J. Cole verse is not expensive, but I'm saying it's beneficial. It's more beneficial for Camron to get that interview, because that's the space that he's in right now. He's in the space of doing podcasting, doing shows. So the value of the interview is more important than a feature. He just raps for fun right now. As of right now, Camron raps for fun. He'll do a freestyle or do something for fun. So he's not interested in that. He wants to get the interview, and I guess, and I'm only assuming this part, I guess he wanted the interview earlier than probably J. Cole wanted to give it. You know what I'm saying? And I also understand J. Cole's part, because you still have to remember that artists do interviews when they're rolling out a project. And then let's take somebody like J. Cole. He doesn't do a lot of interviews. And I think that's probably even more reason why Camron wanted the interview, because he'll be one of the only couple of media houses that has a J. Cole interview. So I get it. But J. Cole doesn't do a lot of interviews, which means that he's only going to do it if it's a rollout, if it's something special. He's just not going to come out because he got time on the schedule. His interviews or his content or things that he does is attached to a project. So if he's not dropping a project in that time, and I don't know, maybe this was going on around when he was releasing Might Delete Later. You know what I mean? Maybe it was going on around that time, I don't know. Or maybe after, who knows? But what I'm saying is J. Cole is very, very strategic at when he does interviews. And even when he does interviews, it's not regular. Like you can't just ask him a bunch of questions. It's going to be something unique. Y'all probably might be in a whole nother part of town, outside doing something, riding bikes. Who knows? Who knows? I mean, J. Cole like riding bikes. That's what he does. So I don't think that J. Cole felt like it was needed to do an interview, at that time, or even now. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know when J. Cole is going to officially drop his album. Everybody's saying before the year is out or top of the year. But listen, with an artist that big, just like Kendrick Lamar, just like Drake, I'm not listening to no rumors about when the album is going to drop. I'm going to wait till it gets on DSPs, and then I believe that it's actually out. Because J. Cole could say, oh, I'm going to drop this by the end of the year, and he'll take a little bit more time to perfect something in the record. You know what I mean? Or perfect the project or add somebody or add a feature. I understand how it goes. But for Camron to go the route of suing, I'm not going to lie, I kind of question that. I kind of question Camron going the route of taking it to court. Let me explain. In my opinion, and I could be wrong, I'm totally okay with being wrong. But I think Camron and J. Cole had a good enough relationship to try to come to terms and figure this whole thing out before you go to court. I mean, they had communication enough or was cool enough to figure out the sample and doing the business on behalf of J. Cole's record. I'm pretty sure they can link up or call each other or find each other's new number or whatever to try to rectify the situation. Because at the end of the day, it's like the fans still want to see a J. Cole interview on It Is What It Is. The fans still want to see that. But when you go to court, see, all that stuff is out the window now. In my opinion, all that stuff is out the window. When you take somebody to court, that means you are risking both sides spending thousands and thousands of hundreds of dollars to go to court. A lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of heartache, a lot of frustration for something that could have been handled by phone or even by representative or whatever the case may be. Have your lawyers call his lawyer and let's figure out what it's going to take, like without the court situation. Like, hey man, hey, I'm owed this. Can you commit to a certain time or a certain quarter where we could get this done? I would really like to get this done. Instead of having to file court papers to do it. You know what I mean? And then overall, like, listen, I'm not stopping nobody from being a businessman or woman and go for what's yours. You know what I'm saying? I'm not mad at that at all. You know what I'm saying? I encourage that. But at the same time, I just think that if you were somewhat friends or somewhat constituents to be able to get business done on one end, then either party should extend that grace a little, extend that grace a little bit to be able to get whatever the reconciliation is, get that taken care of without going to court. Because I'm telling you, nobody likes court. Nobody likes to sit up in that courtroom across from somebody that they could have already got on the phone with and sit there and let the lawyers battle it out and spending your precious hard-earned money. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. And I refuse to believe that J. Cole is stubborn enough or fed up or whatever you want to call it to not hit Camron back and figure out what that is. I don't know. I don't believe it. I just think that it's been bad communication up to this point. And I think it can be rectified. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if they've started going to court yet. I don't know if I believe it's officially filed, but I don't know if they start going to court yet. But man, find a way to rectify that, because at the end of the day, we would love to hear a dope Camron and J. Cole song, another one, and we would love to see the interview for sure. We would love to see a Camron and J. Cole interview. And both of them are doing so well right now. They both got a ton of money. They both been doing a bunch of stuff. Like, man, cut all that court stuff out and just figure it out. You know what I'm saying? I really hope that they do. Let me know what y'all think in the comments about how y'all feel Camron should go about, rectifying that situation. Or do you think J. Cole should reach out and, give him the interview? You know what I'm saying? Like, even if it's not during his album release time, like, do you think J. Cole should give him the interview anyway, just to rectify it? You know what I mean? But it's definitely a lot of court stuff going on, man. But yeah, let me know what y'all think in the comments, man. I'm gonna follow this story for the next couple of days and see what the whole, what type of terms they come to, or even if they officially go to court. You know what I mean? I'll follow up on it and I'll get back to y'all on it. But that's just my opinion, man. I think that cooler heads can prevail and they can figure that whole thing out. You know what I'm saying? Let me know what y'all think in the comments. I appreciate y'all showing love to my no limit video, no limit cash money video. You know what I'm saying? Y'all show love on that. I love those comments in there. I'm responding back to everybody. You know what I mean? So I got more content coming. Y'all know what it is, man. Oh, last thing. Make sure y'all go support. I got my local astronauts coffee mug. Make sure y'all go support. Go to our website, our merch website, www.lacreative.shop. www.lacreative.shop. You can get them coffee mugs, you can get the bucket hats, you can get the dad hats, you can get the shirts, you can get all of our different merch, man. I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all know what it is. Workload.